plant training is done in the veg stage, watering, feeding. Talk us through those processes, how you go about doing them.
Sure. Yeah. So to me, training, so fun, so rewarding, so good for like keeping you, like me. I'm in a 5x5. I wish I had more space, but I only have a 5x5, so I really have to optimize it for that tent. And training is that how I do that to optimize, every square inch of the tent. Try to get every square inch of the tent. That doesn't always happen. But I used to use plant tie downs and like paper clips or like clothespins. My wife was always giving me crap because she'd never have clothespins. And just attach it to the pot and like pull it down, tie it, and like twist tie kind of plant things. But now I've gone away from that. I'm 100% bud clips. From Bud Trainer, they're clips, man. They're the perfect angle in my opinion. They're not aggressive. They're aggressive enough, but man, their attack on the angle is great. So then it's like self-contained too, right? So I was always a problem with the plant ties. I got big old man hands here. My hands are big, right? So to try to get in there and mess with the plants and defoliate and stuff, I was hitting the plant ties, breaking the plant, losing out on that. So. And these are all reusable. You can throw them in the dishwasher, you clean them, and again, even when I was watering, it get whatever. So in this veg stage, I use that on my outdoor plants, my indoor plants, and just make it a work of art, really, and get it, get it to where. So and then watering and feeding inside in veg, I like I said, I use that. I have a matrix system from Floorflex, and again, back savings. That's saving time and money. Sure, saving my back, another one of my high priorities. And this thing, I've got it on a table. I've got it on a flood table, like an ebb and flow table, but I don't have anything cut out, and I just put my plants in there. It's got a manifold that can do up to 8-10 plants. I've done 2 heads, I've done it, whatever, and I can water it, and it's great. It just runs off into the table, shop vac. I don't have to pump it and drain it, and I just, again, to me, that was the cheapest way to do it, and to not have to bend over. So that's great, and that's that sort of, it just keeps the watering so much easier.
Yeah, when it comes to training, I started using those Bud Trainer clips. They've been working out really good so far for me. Although they are a little bit pricey in my opinion. I think I ended up buying a 20 pack for $20 or something like that. So I used to go the cheap route there as well, just with like ties, garden ties. You could buy them for like $2 or $3 at your local Home Depot or Lowe's in the gardening section. And then using those ties and bringing the branches down and either piercing your fabric pot with like safety pins, for example. Some people use paper clips. Binder clips is what I use very often, actually. Clothespins, I've used those in the past as well. Those are a little bit more, let's say finicky, but I don't really hold on to the pot as much using those in the garden ties. But yeah, anything kind of lying around the house, that's a good way to save money, is using those things when you're doing the plant training. Now, as far as watering, actually getting a little bit deeper into water, you mentioned use RO water. I do too. Now, there's a little bit of a misconception about RO water, that people think that it's thousands of dollars to get a home unit system. That's actually not the case. I've got one that is, I believe it's $200 I paid for it on Amazon, and it's a 1-to-1 instead of a 1-to-3. And what do I mean by that? I mean, for every 1 gallon of water, some systems will waste 3 gallons of water. But my 1-to-1 system, 1 gallon of water will waste 1 gallon of water. Now, you can also take that waste line from your RO system, put it into a bucket, for example, 5-gallon bucket, and you use that on your outdoor plants. That's what I do. Some people use that water. They put it into their toilet, for example. They save money there using that wastewater. But again, ways to keep things cheap. Filtered water. I can't use my tap water, unfortunately, but a lot of people do use their tap water. They're able to. Well water. But if you do go that route, you might want to get it tested first to make sure that it is going to be usable for your medicinal plants, for example, because we all know now that if there's an imbalance of nutrients in the medium, some nutrients can lock out others, prevent uptake from happening, and it could just be a rough battle trying to get through a grow because you've got what you think is the deficiency, but it actually could be an excess or vice versa. And so figured I'd mention those things about water.
Yeah, and you know what? Listen, my ppm's coming out of my well. I have hard water. It's like 550 ppm. Like I have no choice but to RO it. And you're right. Yeah, no, RO is not like when you look at 500. Probably if I was to start with 500 and add nutrients, I'm going to kill the plant, right? So yeah, it isn't that bad. And getting back to the cheap, I know you were talking about the bud trainer ones. I bought some of the one off of Amazon. That's how I started. Went away from the ties. There was so many different people, whether they were 3D printing them or whether there were so many different sort of angles and whatever. I felt some of the cheaper ones. They didn't have like I don't know what bud. I don't know how they came up with their method of their bend, because a lot of the other ones, the cheap ones, they either cut into the plant after only a very short period of time, and it or it was too much of a bend. So I found that those, like, again. But you have 20 clips. I don't need to buy any more clips like that. Those ones are going to be around for a long, long time.
I find myself putting them on and taking them off pretty quickly versus the ties. I would tie them down on the side of the grow pod and they would stay on the plant for a while. The clips, you can slide them on and then literally within like a week or so, I'm sliding it off at that point. The branch is staying as the angle that it was bent down to with the clip. So, yeah, like 20 might be enough. I think I want to get a couple more packs actually, just because I grow a lot of plants here. But yeah, you can certainly get away with, if you just grow a small number of plants, just one pack. So might be worth it to invest in that brand name one, which is higher quality versus the cheapo ones. I've seen the cheapo ones on Amazon and they can get pretty cheap, but I heard a lot of people having problems with them breaking as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and like you said, you take it off a week, use it on the same plant up higher or keep and again, it's good stuff.
This clip is brought to you by AC Infinity. Use discount code MrGrow15 to save on any of their products.